Well, we continue to tell them, this is what's going on. This is what's popular. We don't want some of the stuff that you're putting out, or pretty much almost all the stuff that you're putting out these days. I mean, it is ridiculous what's going on now. And you could call to yourself and say, hey, here's the evidence. Why don't you believe it? Change the way you're doing business. Before we start, just excuse the noise in the background. It is a 90-degree week, and we got the air units blowing. We're trying to keep ourselves cool, so thank you for understanding. But we're going to get into this, the manga industry and anime. We've been saying this day in, day out, episode to episode, that when we talk about this, manga has overtaken the comic book industry. Why? Because of what has been happening in Marvel and DC, the politics, the check marks. I mean, you got a Captain America that's coming out that basically, the name, they should have looked up the name. They put a Filipino name in there and it means way something else on there. You gotta laugh at this. You gotta really laugh at what, every time they try to put something out, they just continue to dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you're surprised where they're still getting this money from. Where, you figure Disney and Warner have been pumping money into these companies. When it becomes a loss, you get rid of the company or you shut it down. They just haven't realized this. And the reason why we say this, and this is out again, there's a great site, ICV2. If you ever want to know what are the top level in the graphic novels and something that they put it out, they're pretty accurate. They just a couple days ago released the latest top 20, and guess what? Not a single American comic in the lot. And most of it's Viz Media. But there has been a change at the top. And I figured this was going to happen, especially that it's coming down to the end. Number one ranked right now is Attack on Titan. Volume 33 is now the top manga, which has unseated, I think, Demon Slayer and My Hero Academia. Even though My Hero Academia takes the next 3 slots. No, I'm sorry. Demon Slayer takes the next 3 slots. Then My Hero Academia, Titan, Spy X Family, which that is moving up. One thing, pay attention to Spy X Family. It is getting popular. I have talked to some people I know on Facebook who have kids. Their kids are buying Spy X Family. In fact, somebody I spoke to yesterday said they just got the new issue, which is coming out Tuesday. When you see this, it'll be on Tuesday. It'll be on this day. That it was supposed to come out on Tuesday, and it was out on Saturday. And it is a popular. It's starting to become a popular series. I think it's over 10 million circulation right now, and they're only six volumes in. 6 volumes in, and they're already at this level. And they have a spin-off coming, light novel called Family Portrait. And they, of course, obviously, this has been slated for an anime coming soon. Not certain when it could be coming out, but we'll let you know when I'm there. And the next down the line is mostly like My Hero Academia, Tokyo Ghoul, more Demon Slayer, the Toilet Bound. I don't know what that is yet. I have to look that one up. Demon Slayer again for 3 more slots. Komiko Can't Communicate, Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia again, Jujutsu Kaisen. I just started that on the anime. It's pretty good. And My Hero Academia. This is the top 20 in graphic novels. And, one thing, if you haven't realized, if you're not an industry person, to get on this list, to get on this list, especially in the top 20, you've had to have sold at least 10,000 copies. What does that tell you right now? That basically tells you the mainstream comics cannot sell 10,000 copies of what they're putting out to be in this listing. It shows you how much garbage is putting it out. And they say, well, we have to be toward women. Women has to be women have been in the comic book industry for years. For years. I think there was an article recently that was touting, oh, these are the great women, and left out all the true women that have created comics. The ones they put it in there are just people that sold a couple hundred comics. This is the problem in the industry, and this is the problem in Hollywood too. They're going to tout and says, well, we need this and diversity and stuff like that. But it has been for decades. They have on the shelf, and let's go from the black end point of view. They say we don't have enough black superheroes. But yet you have Icon, you have Storm, you get a ton that are sitting on the shelves right now. Sitting on the shelves, not being utilized. They say, oh, Black Panther is the first one. Forgetting that we had Blade, and before that we had Mantis. Black Panther, yes, it was one of the earliest comics with Black Goliath also, and Luke Cage, and many others. But yet they just say, well, it's never happened. This is the first. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. And I'm glad most of these people who buy comics see through this already. And they switched over to manga. Why? Because they have good stories. They don't tout any politics of anything of nature. And some people say, but Zane, they're racist over in Japan. They're on there. They have issues with people because they're very close-knit people. And yeah, they're racism all over the world. But you have to remember one thing. Go look at some of the mangas and some of the animes. Especially Sailor Moon. Did you know there are 2 gay characters in Sailor Moon? No, you wouldn't know that because unfortunately, when it was edited here and dubbed, they removed the how you could say, they changed the naming, they changed the characters around to make it look like they're not gay at all. And I'm surprised. There is a anime out there, Vandred. Vandred is a really good anime. If you have not seen this anime, it is really good. It is over the top. There's a lot of breasts bouncing back and forth. It's a lot of fan service. But it's a good story. It's basically about a universe where men and women live on separate planets and they're at odds against each other. They consider each other enemies. There is one character in the anime that is a woman, and she happens to be the second lieutenant on the ship. And it turns out, spoiler warnings, that she's an agent for the men. She's a transgender. She's actually male, surgically altered to be a woman. And this is not the only ones. You can browse through many different animes and mangas, and you'll find the same thing. They say, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. It's there. If you look for it, you'll find it. It is the most ridiculous thing when you hear these things spewed out of these people that are just activists. And that's what they are. They're activists. They don't belong here. Ta-Nehisi Coates, one of them. He wants to make a black Superman. No, we do not need to change Clark Kent to black. We don't. You might say, well, that's right. No, we don't. Would you like us to change Black Panther to white? No, you wouldn't either. See, all this race swapping, gender swapping, making them gay and stuff like that. It is the most ridiculous thing, ridiculous pandering that they're trying to do. And a lot of people are starting to see through this. All you have to do is look at what they're putting out in the comic book industry, the way they're drawing it, the stories and everything like that, the TV series, the movies, they're just pure garbage. There are writers out there. There are writers who are sitting on YouTube channels talking about how film and all this, the writers that are currently out now stink, that they don't know what they're doing. The movies are garbage within the last decade. Why? Because basically they just don't know what they're doing anymore. You know what the problem was with Army of the Dead? The major problem is Zack Snyder did the cinematography. He does not belong doing cinematography. He is a good director. He's made some great films and some garbage films. I did enjoy his Dawn of the Dead. I prefer the George Romero version for one particular reason, due to the graphics, the as they say, the special effects in the movie, the Tom Savini stuff from back in the 70s. That is some great stuff. If you've not seen the original Dawn of the Dead, and I'm talking the Romero version, there are two versions of the George Romero movie. There's the Argento and the Romero. Both are very good. They're pretty much the same movie, with the exception of the Argento. The plot line is changed a little bit. And the version that you can get on DVD right now, or Blu-ray, they're both versions in the box set. A little hard, a little expensive. But getting back to the manga industry, I mean, you're hearing this left and right that everybody's enjoying. We have a 3-story Japanese store here in New York City that primarily has anime and manga, even though they have other periodicals from Japan and Asia, but mostly they focus on manga and anime. Why? Because that's what people are looking for. And not only Asians. We're talking, everybody else. They are looking for it. Comic book stores that have survived the pandemic and also the purge of the comic book industry are switching over to back issues of comics and manga. Why? Because it's profitable. It's profitable. Spy X Family, 10 million in circulation. Remember that. Remember the numbers on there. Look on Demon Slayer. Look at all. Let me tell you, Demon Slayer was out for several years before anybody really caught on to it. Before it was the anime that kicked it into high gear. And do you know why those numbers are there? Those high numbers in the manga? Because one thing about the way the manga does, they continue to rotate those mangas and light novels. Whereas they stopped printing in the comic book industry. They say, we'll make money off of them at a higher price because there are not that many out. They stopped printing them. Japan continues to print them. They stay in print for quite some time and they still continue to sell. That should tell you how the business should be run. Good stories, no politics, no check marks, just plain, simple, basic stories that people will enjoy. I mean, there's some great stuff. Mushoku Tenshin, like I said, Spy X Family, Demon Slayer, Another World with my smartphone. I'm still reading. I haven't finished the light novels yet on that. There's a lot of them. I'm hoping for a season 2 on the anime. Overlord, which is great. Waiting for season 4 on that one and the movie. Obviously, the Dragon Balls are still being done to this day. And Love Hina. There's so many mangas out there. It's hard to keep up. And that's the premise, is that there's so much out there to choose from. There's something for everybody. Do you understand that? Something for everybody. It doesn't focus, because it's from Japan, it doesn't mean that you wouldn't enjoy it. There is something there for everybody. The women love some of the stuff. We said one of the most controversial ones out there, Redo the Healer. A lot of women liked Redo the Healer. You begin to wonder on some of these things, but it's the truth. It is the truth. And there are many others that are out there that women enjoy. And I don't know what you think of the Japanese, they can make a hell of a story. They can make a hell of a story. I mean, right now, Odin Reviews right now, he's doing the Akira Kurosawa films. Those are some great movies. You know, he did Hidden Fortress, The Seventh Samurai, a bunch of them he's doing right now. Why? Because they're good movies. And guess what? Hollywood took those ideas and made them into other films as well. Seventh Samurai, Magnificent Seven. And how many times the Magnificent Seven storyline has been used in movies? Battle Beyond the Stars, and so on and so on and so on. And many TV series, including Kung Fu The Legend Continues. A Seven Samurai plot line was done. It always happens. Good stories, good reading makes good anime. And forget about making live actions. We don't need the live actions of any of these because Hollywood cannot translate right. They've only translated one movie properly, and that's Alita Battle Angel. Why? Because it was an anime fan by the name of Robert Rodriguez. So you've reached this part of the video. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share this video. If you happen to be in an area that the temperature is way above, hit that beach, stay cool, keep yourself hydrated. We will see you on the next video. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.